Because I love my mom. I want her to come. I don't know if this is...
Yo! Cat's out of the bag. I don't hate the hot tour girl. I don't. If you don't like something, just don't watch it. Why does it have to be ended just because you don't like it? That's not how it works.
Well, he has like around 15 to 20. That's not that good in terms of like views.
Live.
Yeah.
What the f? And black women, stop going on these shows. Stop doing it. Please, I'm begging you.
Believe me when I say I'ma pull up when the stage drops. Believe me when I say she don't look good. Believe me.
Yo, what it is, everybody? It's your boy Srotonn here, but you could call me Tone. All right, listen. We finna watch Not Everyone Needs a Podcast. Now, I'm gonna be honest. I'm not the type of person who I feel like we need to regulate what people fucking do. I just don't feel that way. But we'll get to it. Let's get it.
Look, I'm gonna be the one to say it. Just because you have one good conversation with your homies, that does not mean that you need to start a podcast. I'm tired of dudes talking about aliens once, then thinking that they have the right to buy a Shure SM7B from Best Buy. Now they got a podcast called Alien Talks that's just uninteresting and dry. The host sucks, the friends suck, and even the podcast name sucks. You're not the next Joe Rogan, bro. Put the mic down and put the fries in the bag. Someone's gotta say it. Remember that one relative that told you that you weren't making it to the NBA when you were like 5 years old? Just think of me as that.
Why you say relative? Is it not relative? Whatever.
Hey, everyone needs a little bit of tough love in their life. Not everyone can be nice in this world. And I'm gonna be the boogeyman here saying how your podcast sucks and your friends are boring. Maybe you should think twice before you take that trip to Best Buy. See, the problem is that this world is way too nice now. And now we have podcast clips of dudes talking about how they want their mothers to have good sexual experiences.
Because I love my mom. I want her to come. I don't know if this is...
Yo! What the f? Bro, okay, look. It's just some things I just feel like you should not say. Like, bro. Oh, dirt gross. Like, oh my.
weird to say, but I want my mom to have flawless experiences.
How do you not know if that's weird to say? Like, oh my
Yo!
gosh, I want my mom to have great sexual experience. That is weird.
I want you, and I want you to have that as well. So it's like, is that weird to say? Like, I genuinely want my mom to be getting down good.
I'm gonna give you some
bro.
tough love.
Okay, all right. Like this, they have to be trolling, but you never know. Weird. I still stand on, even after hearing that, bro. I still stand on what I said before, bro. There is a market for everybody. Even though that shit was weird, it's gonna be some weird ass motherfuckers listening to that shit and be like, hell yeah. Like, it's different some people that I have seen, I feel they would be into that. I'm not gonna lie.
Love right here, you know, this is gonna be the toughest love that you've ever felt. This love is gonna be tougher than a well-done steak. You need to stop podcasting, bro. I'm sorry. Never in my life have I ever thought about my mom having good sexual experiences. Y'all are just odd human beings. What even sparks this conversation?
I've never heard nobody say that
how
until
did we even get to this point?
right
and
now.
why was this video even uploaded to the masses, bro? We need to start telling people no more often. You know what, man? I'm thinking about starting a podcast. No, bro, put the mic down. At this point, it needs to be easier to buy an RPG from a gun store than it is to buy a microphone from...
I don't know about that, brother. You and this tripping.
Best Buy. Because I promise you, if there were background checks for mics, we would be nowhere near this point. It feels like everyone has a podcast nowadays. And when I say everyone, I mean everyone.
Yeah.
NBA players, rappers, children. The Hawk Tua girl just started a podcast called Talk Tua. Don't get me wrong. Shout out to her.
Okay, now, cat's out of the bag. I don't hate the Hawk Tua girl. I don't. I think the Hawk Tua jokes are funny. Do I think they're really funny? No. But I'd be like, it makes me... That's what it makes me do. I don't think, but I don't see him a lot. So, and maybe people like y'all timeline, y'all see him all the fucking time. So, and once you see something all the time, you get mad. And I think Talk to Her is a pretty clever name for a podcast. I have never seen an episode of her. And do I think that she would say something that's interesting to me? No. So guess what I do, guys? I don't watch it. I feel like it's just that simple. If you don't like something, just don't watch it. Why does it have to be ended just because you don't like it? That's not how it works. I'm more of a TV and movies type of person. So I want everything shut down if they're not movies or TV shows? No, that's like, come on, what are we talking about?
Her for running up a bag off that one phrase, you know? I saw that she got 30K for popping out to a club a few weeks ago. Like, kudos to her, you know? I'm gonna clap it up for her.
Hey,
but
man.
Why would I want to hear that woman speak for 2 hours straight each week about current events in her life? I mean, for crying out loud, she got famous for talking about how she spits on the pee-pee. Why am I supposed to care about what this woman has to say? Does she really need a podcast for saying, "Hawk to" and spit on that thing? The world could go without a podcast from this woman. You know what? Maybe I'm just hating. You know, maybe why don't I just check out one episode?
I think you hate.
Can't do it as good as
Do it. You do it.
No, you do.
Yeah, no, you do.
You gotta put like an emphasis on it, like tuh. You know, like really, yeah. Say it, all right, all together. Hot tuh. Hot tuh. Hot tuh. Say it aggressive, like hot really.
Ooh, why you look like that? All right, listen. I'm from Polk County, man, and I guarantee you, I can't verify. I guarantee you, there's some white girls in Polk County who are listening to this girl. She kind of reminds me of like white girls in Polk County. So, bro, there's and I'm gonna just let it slide, bro, because obviously I think this dude is hating, and we're not gonna have the same ideas. So I'm not gonna keep pausing and saying the same thing over and over. But man, I feel like you just gotta let people be them, bro. And if you don't like it, just don't watch it. Like just because you don't like something, bro, doesn't mean it's stupid or dumb. Because there's something that you like that people think is dumb and stupid. So
after watching one episode of the Talk to a podcast, I wanted to announce that I am quitting YouTube and becoming a full-time neurosurgeon, astronaut, and monk, all because of this podcast. This is one of the most enlightening podcasts that I have ever watched. And I just wanted to say thank you, Hawk to a Girl, for opening my third eye and helping me evolve as a human being with your phenomenal podcast. I really appreciate it. All jokes aside, no hate to her. She's just capitalizing off her opportunity like any other human being would in her position. But overall, I just don't think there's anything really interesting about this woman that sets her apart from all these
people. Literally are just hating on that girl because they don't have a moment.
Other podcasts out there. Yeah, she may be able to get some great guests on there because the podcast is connected to Better, which is a sports media company co-owned by Jake Paul. But at the end of the day, like the guests can only carry her so far, you know? Like I said, there's not much interesting about this.
That's another thing, bro, about podcasts. I hate a guest heavy ass podcast. That shit is trash. And it might be fucked up with me, but I don't be giving a fuck about these motherfuckers' lives like that, bro. I never was like I told you, I don't really watch a lot of YouTube shit like that unless I'm making reactions on it. I'm more of a movies and TVs person. So my girl put me on a podcast. She put me on Here's the Thing. And from then on, I just been attached to it, man. So like my podcast is usually coming from Kev on Stage Studios. Bro, it should be thought-provoking. It be funny. That's my type. I'm not a whole guest heavy. Oh, let's get into your life. I don't care. Let's get some thought-provoking shit about some shit that happened earlier this week and let's talk about it. Or this weekend and let's talk about it. That's just me though.
Woman. She got famous for saying how she spits on the nutsack, you feel me? But like I said, she's just capitalizing off of a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Podcasts, after all, aren't the hardest thing to do. Podcasting is one of those things that I believe is easy to start, but hard to master. The bare minimum is to get a few mics, sit down with some friends, record, chat for a little bit, and boom, you got a podcast. Like, it's not that hard. And if you already have an audience, it makes creating a podcast even easier. Because if the audience you've garnered cares to watch you for like maybe a few seconds or a few minutes each day, they'll for sure listen to you talk for about 2 hours each week. So it makes sense to why.
And they're gonna watch you at work, bro. Oh my God, I ain't gonna lie. Watching podcasts at work makes that time go by faster than a bitch.
People are starting podcasts nowadays. But like the title says, not everyone needs one. While some of them are good, some just feel like people talking just to talk. Like, I wouldn't even call some people's podcasts a podcast.
And I feel like
I'd rather call it Mike
needs a podcast.
The other day, I saw a podcast clip of two dudes talking about Lefty Loosey Righty Tighty being the greatest invention of all time.
Lefty Loosey Righty Tighty is like the craziest invention of man. I use that all the time. The saying Lefty Loosey Righty Tighty. We just got a new machine. It's like it's called an articulating log loader.
Yeah, what?
It sounds like my toilet paper.
Yeah.
And he making fun of this, bro, but I'm telling, bro, people like to nerd out. People like to hear shit like this, bro, like for real.
There's forks like this that picks up a log and then it can open and close on it. Yeah. And the left button opens it and the right button closes it. And I literally say to myself, I'm like, lefty loosey, righty tighty when I need to let go or grab on. It's the lefty loosey. I might get that tattooed on myself.
Like, no offense to these two dudes at all, because they're probably great people. I could probably sit down, chop it up with them, eat a steak, and just vibe out with these dudes. But there's got to be something way more interesting to talk about than a saying used for when you're screwing something in. Like, what's next? Are we going to talk about bunny ears being the best method to tie your shoes, or maybe even schist being the best rock there is? This conversation just feels...
I bet you people have talked about that before, bro.
So bland and pointless. Like, if an alien were to imagine two human beings talking, I'm pretty sure it'd think of this AI-generated ass convo right here. Like, this is the product of podcasts being so easy to start up. We now have dudes talking about screwing mechanisms as a topic of interest. Like, I don't think every conversation has to be important in a podcast, but there's no way that these dudes copped some premium podcast mics, got the setup and everything just to talk about lefty loosey, righty tight. This podcast just has no meaning at all. It's just yip and yap going back and forth about nothing. I swear these podcasts just get worse and worse, bro. Like, there's just too many podcasts now.
I ain't gonna lie, this nigga is just hating, bro. That's really what it is. And I fuck with Cam. As a Cam, I'm gonna say Cam. But bro, you just hating at this point, bro. Like,
out, and what more is there really to talk about? We gotta sit here and like just think for a second.
We still
What
gonna
more
finish the
is there
video
really
though.
to talk about. Instead of having to get a degree for a job, people need to start getting a degree for a podcast. Like, let's just be real. Like, is there really a need for a podcast where frat dudes talk about Hawk Tua?
Bro, I don't know if you heard of the Hawk Tua girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sit on that thing.
Bro, that blew out of proportion. Like, I low-key think it got too big.
You think?
Yeah.
I don't even know if I've seen the clip, but good for her, I guess. I don't know.
No, like, it's everywhere. Dude, even
That'd be me sometimes. People be like, I'm like, bro, I don't know. I don't know. My timeline just different than y'all's, bro. I'm not chronically online, so everything that popular that happened, like, it don't be on my timeline like that, bro.
at like Old Town, you'll hear Hawk Tua remixes.
Really?
Yes.
Bro, I think it's crazy that you can,
remixes
like,
is
do one
insane.
little thing and
It's
the clip can go
insane.
viral, and then all of a sudden the next day you're like a celebrity. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's crazy.
Yo, this guy in the comment section even gets it. This man said podcast equipment should cost $1 billion. I totally agree.
$1
I'm not gonna lie, like,
billion.
no offense to these dudes, probably some great people, but I'd rather drag my balls through the hot Sahara Desert than listen to these frat dudes talk for 2 hours straight.
fuck?
You best believe I'm serving a life sentence before I listen to Jimmy and Tom from the Beta Theta Sigma frat talk on a podcast for 2 hours. Like, this podcast is just drier than a Popeye's biscuit.
And that's
There is
what I'm
no
saying, you
energy
don't
at all
have
to this
to,
conversation.
though.
And you may be thinking, like, bro, you can't judge off of just one clip of the podcast, you know? This is every clip.
What is your favorite frat?
I don't know. I like how big SAE's parties are and like
Yeah.
Lambda, but like I think ASIG just threw a really cool party. So
I
think-
heard, dude.
Yeah.
I heard.
Kyle was just on it. He's an ASIG.
Yeah. It was a
That's
really
dope.
good party.
This podcast just sucks. This convo just sounds so generic and bland. No energy at all. Just, what's your favorite frat? I like
Bro, yeah, he hating, bro. These are just college kids, bro. And I'm sure their demographic is other college kids, bro.
say they're big. Oh my god, I heard Kyle's there. Like, get this off the airways, bruh. Like, what did Joe Budden say?
That shit is a 2-pack of ass.
I genuinely wish I could take back the few seconds of my life I wasted watching that podcast clip, because now I just feel 10x dumber than what I was before. I feel like one of the keys to a great podcast is an entertaining host, because there's
If a clip can make you feel dumber than dumb, can feel dumb, 10 times dumber, brother, you're the problem.
going to be boring parts to a podcast, and it's up to the host to make that podcast interesting when it's getting dry. But the problem with this podcast is that the host has the personality of a raw chicken wing. So when he talks about boring topics and he's also boring, that just makes the podcast 10 times more boring. Another problem with everyone starting a podcast is that some people don't believe that they need to do proper.
Now, I'm not going to act obtuse and act like I don't get it. Yes, some people find value in not talking about serious issues all the time and things that they feel matter. But like I said, bro, who are you to regulate what matters and what don't? Because some people feel like making YouTube videos is fucking dumb. Feel like it's stupid. Some people feel like reactions are pointless and you shouldn't make it, bro. Listen, let people make what they want to make. Nobody's forcing you to watch it. That's just my own thing.
Research before they record. Like a little bit ago on Twitch, there was this streamer named Jason the Ween who hit 100,000 subscribers. You know, he was number 2 on Twitch for his amount of subscribers in that month. And then there was this shitty TikTok podcast called the 949 podcast that decided to give their opinion on the whole situation. And no, they're not really knowledgeable when it comes to this whole streaming space.
Yeah.
So this was their take.
Streaming is the new wave. It's because it's just. But the
I
thing
heard
is,
about this.
it's the new wave because of clips.
Exactly.
Like Jason the Ween, guess how many live viewers he has? Just guess.
Depends on the time.
Just guess.
Like
You guys
5K?
Yes.
Well, how many live viewers do you think he got?
Like 3K?
3K. So like he's like a number 2. Or I
How
guess,
much do you
like-
be having?
Well, he has like around 15 to 20.
Oh shit!
wow.
I didn't know you was
Pretty
getting.
good.
But think about it, like that's not that good in terms of like views.
That's true,
I feel
but
like it's
live,
good for
live.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's good for live, but
What the fuck? Nigga, 15 to 20K is not good for. Okay, I see your point here, brother. But again, let people expose themselves, bro. Let people. And I've heard about this podcast because Souls be watching this shit. Let people do what they do, bro. People gonna expose themselves. Obviously, these people just showed they don't know shit. They just talking about it. Let people do them, bro.
think about the people in the world. It's only 15K.
15K,
So that's what I'm saying. Streaming is not like a mainstream thing
Big,
yet.
big,
It's only
yeah.
mainstream because of the clips that they put out after,
Yeah,
which
right.
get millions and millions of views.
Right.
And he saw this conversation on Twitter and he just was like, yeah, it only because they're clip farming. That's not good. All right, bro.
But no one's actually watching that shit live.
Yeah. No, literally, bro.
There's a few things that piss me off about this Dookie TikTok podcast. Number one, this man is saying streaming is only big because of clips. Yeah, because nobody's gonna sit there and watch an 8-hour stream front to back, you fucking idiot. So to make it more digestible for the average viewer, streamers and their audiences make clips so that more people can see their streams. What's so bad about that? Another thing this man says is 15K live viewers isn't good views because the clips get millions of views. That's how the internet works. And 15K is good because it puts him in the top 0.1% of streamers. Like, why is it surprising that a live stream has less views than a TikTok video? Are we becoming this slow in society where we can't comprehend that a live stream that you have to watch live has less views than a video where you can watch whenever? This dude knows nothing about what he's talking about.
And then like he said, bro, a video is a lot less than a fucking 8-hour stream, bro. Like, I'm gonna be honest, I feel like I keep saying this all the fucking time. I don't watch a lot of live streams, so for that nigga to have be 15, 20K, that shit is insane, bro.
He's just saying a hot take because he has a mic in his face with the cameras on. This podcast just sounds like one huge gossip session. That's the problem with a lot of these podcasts. Some of them are just gossip sessions. Another situation of a podcast host not knowing what they're talking about is this one right here. So a little bit ago, there's a situation with Kai Cenat, right? He had a cameraman that was talking to an underage girl, and this podcast decided to put out their take.
I'm gonna lie, I saw some crazy shit. What did he say?
Right? He had a cameraman that was talking to an
brother.
Underage girl. And this podcast decided to put out their take on it because, hey, it was a fresh topic. Why don't we say something about it, you know? Why don't we do it for the clicks and engagement? And this is what they had to say.
Kai Cenat, everybody can't go. You need to start looking around.
Oh, yeah.
And I know, like,
I seen this clip.
Specifically, when you get some success, you want to bring everybody with you, but you got to be able to kind of weed that shit out. I shouldn't know who Chris V is. I shouldn't know who Chris Next Door is.
But Chris Next Door is literally an AMP member. What do you mean that you shouldn't know who he is?
I should know who Kai Cenat is because you are the driving force in it, but them I shouldn't even know who they are.
I think it's important to highlight that Chris Next Door is an AMP member. If you guys don't know what AMP is, that is Kai Cenat's group.
That's the problem. Kai Cenat shouldn't have a group.
Kai Cenat joined the...
I think I remember seeing that part, but it still shocks me. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? And again, bro, it's just this Cameron's just talking about he don't fuck with these people's takes, so, and he don't fuck with what these people are talking about, so he think they shouldn't have one, which I think is kind of that's a shitty thing to say, like, because everybody has a platform. But yeah, that dude, yeah, I don't agree with him either. He's tripping.
The group before he became this huge mega streaming machine. This dude knows nothing about what he's talking about. He's just saying a hot take because he's on a podcast.
That's how they got on.
Yeah. Having a team and making it with your team is very important. But if there are problematic people in there, kick them out immediately.
But you gotta know when you are the one, like he is the one. I get it.
So he should abandon everybody?
Yes.
He did not do this alone.
Oh yeah. Listen, if anybody out there is his friend, leave him right fucking now. Because if any opportunity comes to him, he's leaving y'all ass immediately.
Like, there was a journey of a camp of them. And I agree, like, this problematic person, this person that was underage girls, he has to go. He like, bye, we're never speaking to you, cut ties.
Now that we are here, and it's the second, third, however many times something like this has happened, what does he do moving forward? Because now, it can't keep happening. You have to insulate yourself, because at the end of the day, that doesn't mean anything without him.
That is cap, because everyone actually grew themselves before they were in AMP. That's why it worked so well as a group, because everyone had their own platform.
Again, like I said, I'm not going to add obtuse. I get it. He don't want people who don't know shit about what they're talking about to say nothing. But like I said, I feel like that's a crazy thing to say.
For joining, except for Chris, he kind of created his platform after, but he was still pretty known. But this guy just knows nothing about what he's talking about. And this is my problem with so many of these podcasts. Like, if you're gonna put out a statement on any current topic, you gotta do the research to back it up. You're gonna end up looking like an idiot. You can't just go in willy-nilly on something that you know nothing about. That's why a lot of bigger podcasts like Joe Rogan have someone who can fact check, which is Jamie on his podcast. And if you can't afford someone to be in that spot, you should just look it up yourself before you put out this idiotic take on something you know nothing about. Like, there's a difference between a hot take and just a bad and uneducated take. And this right here is what I consider an uneducated take, because he just lacks the knowledge on what he's talking about. I like how some people on the podcast are like trying to tell him like, yo, it's not like this, it's kind of like this, but he just doesn't want to listen. He just decides to be ignorant. I swear some people just get a mic in their face and their brains just go to mush. They don't know what they're talking about. I seen a dude the other day talking about how you need to stop wearing Nike socks with shoes for no reason at all, just because he said so.
Stop wearing Nike socks with shoes, bro. Or
what?
A designer shoe. Even if you wear Nike socks with some Air Force Ones, just stop doing that, bro. I'm sorry, bro. I just can't see nobody wear no Nike socks with a pair of shoes, bro. Like,
okay. So if I had to go back to my brain and I had to try to think about what he's trying to say, he think it looks tacky for people to wear Nike socks with, well, I don't know. He said even Air Force Ones. Yeah, man, that was dumb as fuck. I tried to save him. But the Air Force One, like if he would have said like Nikes with Jordans, okay, like if you black, you've heard that a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not supposed to mix brands with your socks and shoes. But he said with Air Force Ones, like, I ain't gonna lie, boy, that's dumb as fuck. And I wish my black people would be free from this idea of you're not supposed to do this, supposed to do that. Wear the fuck, whatever the fuck you want to, bro. Whatever you want to, just wear it. It's okay.
What are you doing?
Like, what are you doing?
What do your socks have to do with anything on your fit? I understand if somebody says stop wearing a Nike shirt with Adidas pants, like that does kind of make sense. But stop wearing Nike socks with shoes? Why? Why don't you tell us why? Why? I think people got to realize it's fine to have conversations without them being recorded. You know, we need to start stripping cameras and microphones away from society. Everyone has a voice, but not everyone's voice needs to be heard. And since this is a video about podcasts, there's another thing I got to get on my chest, bro. Alpha male podcast. This podcast format honestly just needs to retire, bro. Like when I tell you these
bro, and I don't like I said, bro. Well, I don't know if I mentioned it. I don't know. I can't really remember. But I'm for all podcasts unless they're taking down a community or hurting somebody. People like my people in the black community who be talking about 50-50, goddamn relationship all the time, down in black women, and or anything that's hurting a community or anything, please, man, y'all gotta shut the fuck up. And maybe that's hypocritical of me because I don't agree with their views. It might be, but yeah, this alpha male podcast, it be losers in this bitch. Like Fresh and Fit, I cannot stand these niggas. I cannot stand these niggas or anybody like them because it's like if it was like you didn't agree with something, okay, I get it. But they be trying to act tough. And that's my thing, nigga. I will knock your fucking head off. Don't you ever be trying to act tough, nigga. Like, fuck that. And that's why my thing, bro. It be losers trying to act tough, and that be trying to downplay women. And black women, stop going on these fucking shows. Stop doing it. Please, I'm begging you.
Podcasts are one of the worst things to ever hit the internet because after these podcasts hit, all people would argue about is who was worse, women or men. I hate this whole argument because can we all just agree that men do bad things and so do women? Men lie and women lie. Are we done now? Like, I hate this whole format of podcasts. But yeah, not everyone should have a podcast. Don't just think because you have one good conversation with your homie that you now need this full Joe Rogan podcast setup. No, you don't need that at all. You don't even need a podcast, bro. What you need is a muzzle. But all that being said, we're gonna wrap up the video. If you guys made it this far, I appreciate you. Twitch, Cameron, W.
Shout out dog Cam. All right. Well, no, I did say I need to start finishing videos now.
If you guys enjoyed this video, then I highly recommend you guys check out my most recent video. It'll be right up here on the screen. All that being said, thank you guys for watching. It's Cameron, and I'm out.
All right. There we go. Great video. Now, even though I do disagree with Cam on a majority of this video, I still feel like let people do what they want to do, bro. There is a market for everybody. You know what I'm saying? If it's not hurting nobody, it's not downplaying a community, let people talk, bro. Who gives a fuck? I don't care about them alpha male shit, so I don't watch it. Joe Rogan, I know is super popular. I probably would never ever watch a Joe Rogan podcast. I'm not gonna lie. I don't even know what the fuck he be talking about. But that's just not my bag. And I don't watch it, but I don't have to downplay it or say I don't watch Joe Rogan, so he needs to end his fucking podcast. Like, I feel like that's a bad take. But I think that's all I really gotta say. I appreciate everybody for coming through. Till next time, I'm out.